Like the clitoris. I can't even remember hearing the word clitoris in a science class.
Did you take this?
Like what? No wonder these ninjas can't find it. Hi guys, welcome to Basics in Pink.
Basics in Pink thingy.
So Basics in Pink is, I feel like we're in a bit of like a pink room where we get to have a conversation about femininity and especially about this organ called the vagina. Vagina.
Yeah, the vagina.
I feel like we never have enough of these conversations. I feel like Basics in Pink is this environment that we are creating for women to be able to have conversations about vaginas and vulvas without shame.
And why pink though?
You know, when you open up a vagina, if you have dared to
look
because
at
I feel
it.
like so many people don't even go there, and we're gonna tutafika hapo.
Yeah.
But once you open these lips up, there's a bit of brown and there's a bit of pink, and then also I think growing up, pinkness has been really advertised to us as women.
Yeah,
and I feel in a very positive way we are using that conditioning on this show.
Perfect. Basics in Pink. So here we are.
I think the first thing to even just go into is when you think about the vagina, how was the vagina introduced to you? And what was the first name? Or even just the word vagina, when was the first time you had the word vagina in your life?
First time I was aware I had a vagina. I think some auntie of mine had washed me with soap. So so I went to my mom. I think this is like one of my earliest memories.
Yeah.
And I remember having that conversation with her, and she said, "Oh, you're susu." She was like, "No." And that time my mom was still washing me.
Yeah.
I still remember those moments.
Yeah.
But the way she taught me, and the way she not even taught me, that's my mother. I didn't know my vagina was called anything other than susu. And I never thought much about it.
Yeah.
Because it's just like any other body part. You know, it's there.
When you're like, ini kichwa, ini macho.
Yeah.
Susu.
Ini susu. So the first time I encountered the word vagina was in primary school, in class, home science. You know, the way you're being taught about body parts, like, oh, this is nose, stomach, breast, vagina. And walking out of that class, that word was left there during home science class. Anything out of that, even the teachers never really used to say, you know, your vagina this, or this, like, even some of them, you're
that one. You make sure you wash there. Even for me, when I think about my experience, my mom called it dudu.
Dudu.
Yeah. And the first time I ever had the word vagina, I can't remember what age I was, but the one I properly remember was in class 6 when we were talking about the ovaries. And it was more focused on the ovaries and the fallopian tube than it was on the outside. It was more just know that this internal world exists. But haikuwa ati you have a nice vulva that's outside and this is what it like the clitoris. I can't even remember hearing the word clitoris in a science class.
Did you take this?
Haikuwa. No wonder these ninjas can't find it.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm thinking about like the word susu for you.
Yeah.
And
susu.
It's like, what impact, how did it affect how you perceive your vagina?
My experience was just like any other body part.
Yeah.
It was just like any other body part. It was just like my eyes, my nose, my lips. I can't say that calling it susu any other name apart from vagina or in our native language or national language Kiswahili that I would call it that word. Nothing. Because I think also like when growing up, even when I was taught to refer it or call it susu, there was no shame in it.
But let me ask you, because they called it susu, what did you know was the functionality of that organ?
Susu?
Yeah.
See to susu. To pee.
all you knew was this organ is for excretion. Yeah, I feel like nobody said, oh, by the way, you know, this organ can do more.
I came to learn. You know, I came to learn slowly, like even like when I progressed, like even age-wise. I mean, you just can't throw to a 5-year-old or a 6-year-old child that you say, you know, your vagina is going to start letting out blood. Your vagina children can come out through there, or
it can swallow a whole man.
It can swallow a whole man, or even a whole country, and it disappears. Anyway, but I think it was just, you know, stage by stage, like the way you tell a child at this stage this, at this stage this, when depending with their age.
Yeah.
So when I was maybe standard 6 or something, now when, you know, teachers come and they start talking about how when you have your period and that, so I knew, oh, so this happens.
Yeah.
So that was that, and then I knew about pregnancy, but I never really thought much about it. Na mimi nilikuwa tu sawa na susu yangu. Hata wa leo mimi nakwanga tu niko sawa na susu ya mine.
Yeah.
I never had any issues.
Yeah. That's amazing, because inatoa so much of the shame around it.
Yeah.
Because for me, in my instance, it's first of all, you're calling my vagina dudu. When there's a bug in the house, kukiwa na mende ama kukiwa nini, spider, wini yo dudu.
Na ni dudu yako.
So hebu niambie,
sasa yako ni ya
perception yangu ya mimi and my vagina ni nini. See, I'll just look at that thing like it's just a dudu. Like it's a funny looking.
Umesikia venye umesema? That thing. I don't think many mothers teach their daughters how to properly clean their vaginas. And even in the schools, they are not teaching girls how to properly clean their vaginas.
Exactly.
And I think that is something that people should add into this syllabus. Why teach me how to brush my teeth and wash my body and my feet and my ears? Why also not teach me how to clean my vagina?
Exactly, because everybody's going to, msichana anafaa kubeba tissue, msichana anafaa kubeba handkerchief, msichana anafaa kuwa na nini na nini na nini. But nobody will have the audacity to tell you about the organ that best represents your femininity. CBC, kama natusikiza, it is high time.
Tafadhali.
Mkieka brush your teeth, brush your private parts. Now, speaking of boys, I don't know, when you were growing up, was there that thing of, acha nichungulia yako nione?
I don't think I ever went through that.
Yeah.
But what ile kitu niligo through ni tabia ingine mbaya, kama sasa nimekaa kwa class na desk. Na so maybe nimeconcentrate, niko busy. So niko na ka uniform kangu, na kwanza kangu kalikuwa kafupi. Nilikuwa na
you had a cutting?
Nilikuwa cutting, painting.
You look like hapo ka 12, 13 years old. 16,
yeah, there as 16. Nikiwa tu primo.
Yeah.
Sasa nimekaa chini.
Kajoto kameanza kuingia tu crashes.
Sasa nimekaa chini. Una boy walikuwa wanakuja na kioo. Sasa yeye amekaa hivi, analengesha hivi. Yaani anailengesha hivi mpaka mguu yangu. Alafu watu wanacheka. Mimi hata sijui nini inafanyika. Kumbe wananicheki suruari. Sasa hiyo kitu inawafurahisha. Ama wengine walikuwa wanainama, literally wanainama tu hivi Yes, that's what they used to do.
Because me, the one I experienced ni hiyo ya kuweka kioo kwa floor.
Hiyo ya kioo ya floor.
They're all giggling.
Yeah, they're all giggling. Yeah. Yeah.
That one, and I think the other one was like when I had my first period, I had the worst stain. Like it ilikuwa mbaya. It was so bad. It was so huge. Yeah, because I got my period when I was in school. And then I used
primary or high school?
Primary.
Oh, yeah.
And then I used to wear, instead of a petticoat, because I hated petticoats, there was this two skirts I used to wear inside. Because sasa imeabsorb yote. After cleaning the dress, I have not cleaned the skirt.
Yeah.
So I go to sit again. It's even a worse imprint because the dress is also wet.
Walikuwa wanaitanga map of Africa. Okay.
Yeah.
Walikuwa wabofu kweli.
Why is it important for young girls to be involved in this conversation? Like, why do we need to involve young girls when they're growing up? And how do we even go about it? Sindio, like the way ulikuwa unasema, you can't just splash everything to a child right now.
No,
wezi mwambia ati,
there has to be a process.
You're 4 years old and I'm telling you, you have a chuchu, and your chuchu is going to start removing blood, and then after removing blood, one day you're going to be sexually active.
That's traumatizing a child.
I think so as well. So, like, how do we even start going about these conversations as parents, as elder sisters, as... teachers.
I think the how to, like create a nice soft landing and having a conversation is if you have any trauma with your own vagina.
Answer na yako.
You cannot teach someone something that you actually don't practice or know yourself. And then also make sure you refer to your child's vagina as vagina and not susu. Yes, and call it for what it is. You see, you can't say your nose. Why don't we have a different name for nose?
Yeah.
So I think if you start calling the vagina for what it's meant to be called, call it as that, as it is.
That's step one.
That is step one. And then ukwe comfortable and like having conversations around that. Do you know you can have your child, and I'll tell you this, especially when young girls are growing up. Sasa tumeanza tu kujifundisha kwenda choo. Sasa kanataka kukuwa independent, kanataka kujipanguza. Kanaenda kanajipanguzanisha huko madhogodhanio kwa choo kanaanza kuwashwa. Akaezi kukuja kukuambia because as it is wewe una feel some certain way, kind of way, having a discussion about their vagina.
It's so crazy.
So mtoto anakuwa mgonjwa, unampeleka hosi, daktari anakuambia mtoi ako na UTI. Alafu na ni kitu tu ungeza dinao mtoi akwambie, mami
nawashwa.
Yeah, so you have to be like lazima ukwe open, lazima kitu yote kifanyikia mtoto wako lazima akwe able kukuja kukuambia about her vagina.
Yeah, and the only way you inaweza happen ni kama hakuna shame. And I think kenye tunafanyanga, we underestimate intelligence ya watoto wetu. Like even just their way to be able to sense, like a child can sense if you're happy or not.
Oh yeah, they know.
They know if you're angry or not.
Oh yes.
So you want to tell me they won't know when you have shame?
They know.
On to the fun part.
Bring it on.
Myths and facts. A woman can get pregnant even when they're on their period.
Yeah.
Is that a myth or is it a fact?
Myth.
It's a myth.
Okay, fact. It can happen.
It can happen.
Yeah, it can
there's
happen.
So many stories of women who got their period and
it can happen.
After that period they find out that they're pregnant. So that is actually a fact. Debunk those myths. Myth or fact? Menstrual blood is dirty.
From where?
Mashiro ni chafu.
Zinakuwa chafu aje?
Nani anazichafua?
Mimi sijui.
Are they dirty or not?
No, of course not. Myth. Big myth.
I also
big
agree.
Myth.
Myth or fact? The hymen. Unajua hymen ni nini? The hymen is always an indicator of virginity.
BS.
Yeah? Why?
But virginity ni nini? By the way?
I think someone just came up with it honestly.
I think, okay. According to me, mtu ni virgin kama haja have sex. Saa zingine hymen inaweza break watu wengine. One, they said, I remember hearing riding bicycles, riding a horse, or wearing a tampon. Yeah. But does that mean that you're not a virgin? Because your hymen is broken?
Myth or fact?
Yeah.
Female ejaculation is a myth.
Hey, it's a fact.
What experience do you have?
Siku squats. You see the ejaculation?
It is.
Yeah, it's a fact. It happens.
Yeah. Myth or fact?
Yeah.
Only cisgender women have vaginas. And before you even answer, cisgender is you're born with an organ and it's what represents your gender.
Yeah.
So, and then the question is this a myth or a fact? That? Only cisgender women have vaginas.
No, siku hizi wanatengenezewa wenye wanataka.
Unaweza tengenezewa. Kuna manufacturer. Myth or fact? Tampons can get lost inside your body.
Hakuna kama sperm inaingianga na lazima ishuke. Kwanza kama haija fertilize mayai lazima ishuke. Anything that goes up the vagina has to come out.
So why would people think that tampons are going?
Inapota inaendanga kwa tumbo. Inatoka kwa uterus inaenda kwa tumbo alafu sasa itatoka. What it comes out.
Let us
it comes
debunk
out.
that myth. It can't get lost.
It comes
You
out.
might not be able to get it out immediately,
Yeah.
but it can be pulled out.
Actually, the vagina expels anything that is not meant to be there.
Yeah.
It's slowly too ina niningi tu inaanza kutoka.
Imagine vaginas have had artificial intelligence from the word go. Like imagine they can just clean themselves without you having to do it.
The way God made us,
Your
He made us
washing
very
machines
well.
wish they could. They could never. Alright guys, that has been Myth or Fact.
Yeah.
And again, this has been Basics in Pink.
Ciao.
Ciao.